Welcome everyone to today's video. This is a little program I programmed the last 2 days on stream, and I will explain it to you in the next following minutes. There were some points in this program, especially this method and this method, which I couldn't help myself but to research, which I have never used the reduce or map method or to list in my programming journey so far, but I will keep learning. So I think I will come across them in the near future again. Okay, let's start here with the main function. The main function is the entry point of the program, and we have two variables here. We have two variables here which store the value of the weather reading class, and another one which stores the value of the weather station class with weather reading objects. And in the end we have an output on the terminal, which I will show later. The weather reading class has a constructor which gets the temperature and the humidity as shown in the main function. It declares them two as a double, which means it's a floating point number, and it checks the temperature, and if the temperature is more than 30, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. And it also returns a string which says temperature and this temperature and humidity, this humidity, as an output later on the terminal. The weather reading class has a constructor which gets the temperature and the humidity as shown in the main function. It declares them two as a double, which means it's a floating point number, and it checks the temperature, and if the temperature is more than 30, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. And it also returns a string which says temperature and this temperature and humidity, this humidity, as an output later on the terminal. The weather station class also has a constructor and gets weather reading objects, which are lists, and it also adds a new measurement to the list, which is another weather reading object. It calculates with an own method the average temperature. It's for that has an empty list called temps, which contains only doubles, and in a for loop it adds the new temperatures to this list, and in the next for loop it calculates the sum of the list, and in the end it divides the sum by the length of the list. That means it divides the sum which we calculated here in this loop and divided by the elements in the list, so we can get the average temperature. Then in the next method we have also this temps list of doubles, and it maps the weather reading objects to the list, and then here it checks for the highest temperature, and in this method lowest temperature it does the same, checks for the lowest temperature, and the only difference from here to here is less and here is more. So that's about it for this itty bitty program. I will do these videos every week, like every Sunday I think, and we will do these programs from Monday to Saturday for the next 2 weeks on stream every day at 6 p.m. and I hope to see you guys there. If you want to follow my journey, I would be delighted if you're there. Thank you. And then here we have the output of the program, and if I'm just blatantly wrong with something I said in this video, you can correct me in the comments. And if I'm wrong, if with anything that I said, I will be happy if you leave some constructive criticism in the comments. I try my best, but if I'm wrong with anything that I said, I'm happy to learn, and I'm happy to have the constructive criticism of you guys in the comments. So thanks for that.